Hello,
Hey,
hello.
what is going on, everybody? We are Whit and Carrie Hyam, and today we're going to be talking about writing killer ad copy.
Yeah, and specifically how writing this killer ad copy can help you attract more reps, have better leads coming through your funnel so that you make more sales, attract those high quality business builders through your network to your network marketing team, etc.
Yep, and as well as avoid some of the pitfalls, mistakes that we often see people make. We've even made those mistakes.
Yes.
We want to help you avoid some of those pitfalls. This is an area where a lot of people kind of, they stumble through. They have a hard time finding their voice, and so we're going to be going over that to help you, get away from that.
Yep. So as we're going to show you here in just a minute, it's actually fairly simple to write killer ad copy when you have a formula and a structure to follow.
Yep.
So we're going to be going through that so that you can attract more reps, so that you can have higher quality people coming through your funnel, so that you're making more money in the long run.
Yep. And so we're really excited about that because, again, some of you guys might have already heard kind of me and Carrie have talked about this a lot. And if you've been on a call with us or you've talking to us, this is one of the biggest things that we talk about. We want to help you guys understand that. But real quick,
let's give some shout outs.
Shout out for people who are going to be jumping on.
If you're hopping on with us, comment your name. Let us know where you're watching from so we can give you a shout out. But Annalie is here.
Annalie, what's up, girl? Yes.
Petraline and
Lisa,
awesome.
Hopefully you're doing good.
And Tim, good to see you. I've been talking to Rebecca this morning.
Yes, you guys are freaking rocking it. Love it. Okay. Love it. But again, we're going to dive right into this of just, again, writing killer ad copy. And for a lot of you, especially in the Elite Marketing Pro community here, if you're brand new to this and you're trying to figure out what that even means or anything like that, again, this is going to be absolutely essential for you. So definitely pay attention. If you guys don't have pen and paper, you guys are going to want to get pen and paper for this, okay, guys? You're going to want to write this stuff down.
We're going to be going through a lot of information really fast.
Yeah, and I don't care how many times you've heard this information, guys. This is something that me and Carrie continue to get better at all the time.
We're always testing and tweaking and adding and seeing what works, what doesn't work, and making changes where it's necessary. So even if you've had this training before, there might be something new and you don't want to miss it. Okay?
Sally, what's going on?
Hey, Sally,
hopefully
good
you're
to see
doing
you.
good.
Awesome. Anyone else is hopping on, comment your name, where you're from,
and
we will give you a shout out.
Yes,
so,
sure.
Okay, so before you can start even thinking about writing your killer ad copy, there's one thing you have to get very clear on, and I want to see if anybody here knows what that is.
Okay.
If you know what that is, comment.
Just comment what you think that is. What you need to be doing very first before you start writing anything, because again, guys, you're starting to write something to catch somebody's attention. But in order to catch somebody's attention, what do you have to identify first?
Yep. Okay? Those of you who have been to the fast track weekend, you better know this. Eric,
what's going on, brother?
Your target market.
Petraline, got it.
She gets snaps today.
Yep, snap. Sorry.
Awesome. Yes.
If we could give virtually
who your ideal customer is, your target audience,
who you're speaking to.
Absolutely. You guys are rock stars. I love it.
Sorry.
So if you don't know who you're talking to, it doesn't matter what ad copy you write, you're never going to have the right people coming through your funnel. You might get lucky here and there, but if you get very clear on that target market, then you're going to it's going to make everything else in writing your ad copy so much easier.
So what do we mean by identifying your target market, guys? This is not just saying, okay, this is somebody that I want to talk to, but what are their words? What are their phrases? What is their daily, routine look like? What are they going through? What are their pains? What are their struggles? Like, what are all of those things that target market has? So if you're talking to network marketers, what are network marketers going through? What are some of the language that they use? And this is probably one of the hardest things for a lot of people to identify, because they're like, well, I know I want to target this person, and so they just kind of see what other people are doing and then just kind of throw it out there. Now, there's nothing wrong with that because it's all about experience, but you want to get it down to how people talk. What phrases do they use? What terminology? What are some of the things that they do on a daily basis that does work and doesn't work? You really want to identify that stuff.
Hey, Tom, good to see you. Please drive safe.
Curtis, yes, Tom, come on.
Okay, so
hopefully you got the sticky cell phone thing so you guys can watch this as you drive.
So Whit, he actually nailed something very dab on the head, however you want to say it. Dabbed on the head, nailed it.
On the head,
okay, and that is you need to identify the language that they use. So when we come into the Elite Marketing Pro community, we start to learn a lot of jargon, a lot of language, the lingo of online marketing.
Yep.
And the problem is that if you're targeting network marketers, if you're whoever you
people
might
that
be
don't
targeting,
that aren't maybe using
people
online.
that aren't using online, they don't understand a lot of the same phrases. So you have to speak the language of your target market, okay? And Fernie actually has a really good training in the back office called Know Your Target Market that you can actually go and check out. And that's going to help you get really clear on identifying the language that people use.
Yep, on that target market.
That your target market is going to use.
Because you don't want to be using language that's not going to make sense to them. It might make sense to you, and you got to think about that stuff, guys, is if that language makes sense to you, you got to ask yourself the question, the people that I'm talking to, does that language make sense to them? Hang on just a second.
I'm going to close the door real quick.
Yep, we got our 5-year-old and 2-year-old hanging out with us. As most of you know, usually if you get on this, Fran, what's going on? Jan, Chuck, awesome. We got a lot of awesome people. But again, guys, if that makes sense to you guys, just
to give you an example, just an example that we see a lot is we see a lot of online marketers, they're targeting network marketers, and they say, we're going to help you grow an audience.
An audience of people, like, or grow a network.
A network marketer, if you say that term, they're going to say, so what?
What is growing an audience? What does that mean?
So if you, in changing just that one phrase to help you grow a network,
that's going to make
all of a sudden it's going to make more sense to the people you're trying to target. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Awesome. That's awesome training. Yes. Okay, perfect. Hey, Fran, good to see you. Okay, so there's 3 different types of copy that you can use. All right, there's short copy, which is a couple sentences. Fernie is a master at doing ads with short copy. Next is medium copy, and this is where we started. This is where we started. It's where we played the game for our first 2 years. Our first 2 years, honestly, was really just getting really good at writing this medium copy. It's a couple paragraphs.
Relevancy score, totally.
Yes, it will kill your relevancy
score. Yeah, that relatability.
Yep. And so a medium copy is just a couple paragraphs, not very long, long enough to give you to put the formula that we're going to give you here in just a second to action.
I want to say for most, it's a good place to start.
Yes,
with
absolutely.
the medium ad copy, okay? Because we're going to be talking about another type of ad copy that you guys can be using, but this takes a lot higher skill set and a lot more time to develop that you probably don't want to jump into right away unless you've had some writing skills in the past or something like that. But for most people,
long story ads.
Long story ads.
If you are brand new, brand new to online marketing, brand new to writing killer ad copy, we definitely recommend that you play in the medium ad copy range because the longer your ad copy, like Whit said, the better your copywriting has to be, the better your understanding of your target market has to be. There's so many different variables that go into writing killer ad copy, right? And so the longer the copy, the better you have to be.
The more detail you got to put into it, the more the benefit you got to put into it. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be incorporated in that copy that like even for myself, like guys, I don't write a lot of copy. I can do the short and medium stuff, but when it comes to long stuff, like I don't even feel comfortable doing long ad copy because I know what goes into it. I've seen her do it, and it's pretty amazing how she can put it together, but it's crazy, like the mindset that you have to have behind it and walking people through kind of a journey in that ad copy to get them to take action. Because the longer it is, remember, people on social media don't want to read. Okay, like they're just scrolling as fast as they can, and you have to be really good at capturing that attention. And again,
and the longer your copy, honestly, it's the higher the chance that they're going to hop off. If they make it through your entire ad copy and you've got this long story, they're a very high quality prospect, but you have to be the master at getting them to the end of the copy so that they click to go over and check out whatever it is that you have. So we recommend for anyone starting out, medium ad copy is the way to go.
If you feel good with that, like if you're brand new, just zero writing skills, short to medium is very, very it's easier to use because you can wrap your mind around it a little bit. It doesn't take a whole lot. You can hit some of the main points that we're going to be going over in an ad formula really easy. And again, this is where me and Carrie started. And Carrie does have a background in writing. She worked with the newspaper before, where she did a lot of, copywriting. She did a lot of, I was
quality. The typesetter.
The typesetter,
every story that came through my desk,
she had to change. Make sure it was good.
I had to completely revamp so that it matched the structure of the newspaper that we had. So don't compare yourself to other people. Your journey is your journey. especially in writing copy.
Yeah, but just start there. And as you guys start to see long ad copy, you start to study it a little bit more, you start to get more familiar with it. We're not saying that, you know, it's something that you guys eventually won't test out or start to test. Me and Carrie are all for testing. Believe me, I'm all for testing. But definitely get the skill set first. Start developing the skill set in writing ad copy, whether it be short or medium, because that way when you start to dive into it, it's not going to be as hard of a transition for you when you start to really get that in, okay?
Cool. Hey, Alan, good to see you.
Yep,
so if you guys are you go.
No, you got it.
You got it.
The
same wavelength.
Yeah, we usually hit that.
We usually do.
Part.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you guys are getting value, give us some likes, give us some loves, give us a hashtag value in the comments.
Yes, Jenny, Steven, what's up, girl?
So good to see you.
Yes, freaking rock star.
And you're going to NES, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
I want to know if anybody on here is attending NES 9. We are going to be there in Vegas in June. Okay. I want to know if you're attending. That way we can.
Let's hear it, guys.
Let's hear it.
Let's get some NES. Just do hashtag NES9 in here too. If you guys are going to be attending that, or so that's what we want to do.
We're getting some value. That's good. Okay, so when it comes to writing your killer ad copy, there's a very basic formula that Whit and I have followed over the last 2 years that has resulted in, you know, the multiple six-figure income that we've made off of Facebook advertising over the last 2 years.
Yes.
Every single ad that we have ever put out that has produced results has followed this formula.
Yep. And with that being said, okay, because a lot of people get confused, like, well, if I follow this formula, I'm going to be saying the same thing every time. No, you're not. No. Guys, that's the beauty of stories, is that when you learn this formula and you start to apply this formula, the formula can be used, the same structure every time, but your story can change to match what your audience needs and how you want to say it. And the better you can get at this, the more your ads are going to perform, the more you capture people's attention, because you're not telling the same story that everybody else is. Because guys, when people start to follow a formula, that's what happens. A lot of people, when it comes to ad copy, they start saying all of the same things, and so everybody running ads, you don't want to say the same things.
I mean, you can have similarities in different ads, and a lot of our ads have been similar, but every single time I change it up.
Yep, we try to tweak it.
I focus on different parts of my story so that it makes it different and helps it stand out, okay?
Yes.
So you can follow this formula, but make sure you identify who your target audience is first, your target market first, and then get really good at identifying these different parts of the formula.
Yep.
Okay. So
be you, Jenny says. Yes.
Yes. Be you. Don't try to be Whit and Carrie. Don't try to be Brandy Shaver. Don't try to be Heather Glaze, whoever it is. Be yourself, because you're attracting your own tribe when you're writing this copy. So what I like to tell people to do is lead with your own story. Okay. In every single ad that we've ever done, and this isn't the formula, I'm just leading with this, is if you can lead with your story and you can get really good at identifying certain points in your story that would relate to your target market, you are going to be miles beyond where everybody else is when it comes to writing their copy, okay? So the very first part of the formula.
And don't overthink that part. Guys, don't overthink it. You already know what your story is. You've told your stories how many times, especially if you're in network marketing. You are... like, you already know that story so well. Like, don't overcomplicate that. Just tell it how it naturally is. Don't get inside your brain of saying, oh, I gotta focus on this or that or whatever. Just be natural with your story, because that's what makes it powerful, is how natural you are with your story. That's what people relate to. And I see way too many people get inside their heads with their own story and say, well, if I'm not, I gotta make it like really pack a punch. Guys, it's a story. It probably already packs a punch, especially if you're here in network marketing, you were struggling doing whatever. The story's already great, okay? Don't try to, you know, spice it up with, you know, robots and transformers and stuff. Like, just be natural with that. Okay?
And tell it as it is, right? Because if you can be really real with your people, they're gonna be really real back, right? It creates that bond.
That's where they relate to
with your market. It's how you attract your tribe.
So first
thing is pain. So it's a fact that people share each other's pain. So
they do.
Being here, I know that we have a lot of network marketers here who are trying to attract other network marketers by promoting EMP. What are some pains that the average network marketer goes through? Comment below, let me know. And I'm going to give you an example. Like, Traveling, right? Traveling for home meetings and home parties. That's a pain that network marketers have, and the reason that it's a pain is because they have to leave their kids. They're not able to spend their time the way that they want.
But this is the cool little twist, okay? Because we always hear the same things of home parties and stuff like that, okay? People are becoming aware of that a lot more. Rejection. I love that because that's new. Not a lot of people talk about that.
Not having enough people to talk to.
Not having enough people to talk to, okay? I see, because when me and Carrie look at a lot of ad copy now, we see the same pain points, very generic.
No friends left and no family left.
Yeah,
love it.
We see a lot of people that just use the same generic, okay, you don't want to do home meetings and home parties. Like, okay, great, I understand that. But one thing Carrie said was the traveling to those home parties. Those are a little different, okay? Because you can focus on that. Hey, I had to travel. I did this many miles. Guys, there are certain things that you can still pack the same punch when it comes to relatability, but you can focus on different things like your rejection and different things like that.
Yep, so there's different, when you're talking about your pain, I'm sure for those of you who have been in network marketing, let's say that, we're all trying to promote EMP here for just a second. When you are talking about your pain, start thinking to yourself, what are different stories that I have that can drill down on that pain? Ray, you're absolutely right. Calling your friends and family to grow your business, having to bug them, right? Jenny, not having interested people to talk to. Too much time to get a no-show, right? Oh my goodness. So how many stories do you have where you went through that pain, and how can you package that story into a couple paragraphs? That's what it comes down to, okay? Prospects not showing up, no-shows, we've all been there. So Eric, let's say that we're writing a story about no-shows. You can paint that picture for people in your ad copy where you're like, I had cleaned my house, had the kids out down at the babysitter's. It had taken me all day to get, the goodies and everything ready. I had 10 people that I had invited and no one showed up. My sponsor came, we got the whiteboard set up and no one showed up.
Yep.
Put a dagger in it, right? How many of us have been there? When you can get really good at telling the story of your pains, that's like the Trojan horse into your target market's heart, okay? So next is agitate or educate. So step 1 is pain of your formula. Step 2 is agitate or educate. So I love to agitate.
We used to use the word benefit, but
we've changed it up a little bit.
But I like the wording of this better because it gets more into like she said, it has a lot more. I know, but the thing is I'm not right there, but I mean the solution, we used to mix up this formula and it's really confusing. But now I like where we talk about agitating and educating people, because again, it's almost like prodding them, but then you can lead with education, like really diving into how you've come across something So let's stick with our story of no-shows, right? So how can you dig the knife, or take the knife, it's already stuck in, how can you twist it? That's what I like to think of. So I like to think of it as adding just that next piece to the story on. And maybe that next piece to the story is, and then my husband told me, I told you so, no one was going to show up. All of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, right? Like I've been there. So not only do we have no-shows and rejection, but now all of a sudden we have friends and family that don't believe in us, right, Jan? And that is like the killer pain. You've led with a little bit of pain, and then all of a sudden you've agitated that pain by throwing something else in there. Or you can do the flip and say, the reason this didn't work was, the reason that I didn't get results was, I've come to find out, through this blog post that I've attached, that there's a reason that I didn't have anyone show up. And you can find out the reason XYZ, right? So that's 2, is agitate or educate. Step 3, what if your company promotes old-fashioned ways of doing network marketing, friends, family, flyers, and you're teaching something that may sound contradicting to what's being taught from stage? Ray, you are an innovator. You are a trailblazer. You are one of those people that are changing the industry of where the industry is really going. Now, not everybody's catching on to it yet, and a lot of people in network marketing are slow catching on to this concept, but you're an innovator, and that's the cool thing about it. That's where me and Carrie were when we did it. Our upline didn't understand it either of what we were trying to do. They do now because, hey, we're getting results. So they're starting to see a big shift in a lot of it. So don't worry about that. Just keep pushing forward with, what you're learning. And because again, everybody says what's duplicatable. Duplicatable is per individual. What duplicates for you? What works for you? And then what works for other people on your team? Just start taking those actions. Believe me, like,
yep, you're gonna be the leader. You're gonna be the leader that's gonna start implementing a lot of this inside of your company.
Yes, you are.
Whether you are starting at the very bottom, it doesn't matter. Okay, because as you start to grow a team, all of a sudden your company's going to be asking, what are you doing, right? So we've been on here for a little bit. Let's get through the rest of this formula.
Let's get through it.
Get off my soapbox. But anyways, so step 3. So step 1 was pain. Step 2 was agitate or educate. And step 3 is benefit or solution. So every single person.
And this is huge.
Yes, every single person, as they're reading your ad, there's a scale that they have, okay? And I want you to think of it like this. That the desire to click or the desire to take action on whatever you are having them do, it has to outweigh them not, okay? So that after you've gone into the pain and after you've agitated that pain or educated them a little bit, now it's time to pour on some benefits of taking action, of doing whatever it is you want them to do, okay? I'm glad you guys are getting value. Give me some more hashtag values, okay? Or my favorite emojis. Give me those, and I have to do that sound every time I do it. Let me know if you're getting it. So what is the benefit that they're going to get from clicking, okay? Like clicking to go check out the blog post or commenting more info or whatever that may be. The benefits can include, you know, what's the solution that you found, right? All of a sudden, so if we go back to our no-show scenario that we painted, now you have a room full of guests. Now you don't have to do home meetings at all anymore, and your team is growing 10 times faster than it was.
And the people that are there are a lot more qualified to be there versus just anybody. So
and now prospecting is fun. Right?
It's actually fun getting people.
It's actually fun talking to people about your business because they come to you. Right? Those are the benefits that you're going to weigh on. If you don't have benefits, chances are they're not going to click. You have to have some benefits or give them a hint that the solution to their problems is in the blog post or it's if they comment more info. Okay. So love the sound, Carrie. I'm saying it right now.
Last thing, guys, is having a strong call to action. Okay? Because, and this is something I like to talk about because adults are no different than kids, okay? You have your 4-year-old, your 5-year-old, your 6-year-old, your 13, 14, 15-year-old, whatever that may be. They have to be told what to do. Do your homework, okay? Room gets messy, you got to tell them to go and clean their room, right? It's the same thing for adults. A lot of adults still have to be told what to do because it's ingrained in our head from day one that we have to be told what to do. We have to have a structure and we're told what to do, right? Okay, most adults actually, our attention span for a lot of adults is about 7 seconds. Okay, guys, a goldfish is 8 seconds. So what that tells you is that we lose focus really easy. And so what you need to do is have a strong call to action to get them to do what you want them to do. Okay, so if you're trying to get them to click on your link or whatever, have a strong call to action to that. If you want them to comment, have a strong call to action to get them to comment.
Adults are kids in small bodies,
yes,
right?
They are.
Yes. Okay, so, and the cool thing is that call to action and the benefit can actually be combined.
Together,
so it could be like, you know, click the link to check out the blog post where you're going to find out how you can XYZ benefits, right? So you don't necessarily have to have a click the link to learn more, right? It can just be click the blog post to check it out.
Damn it, Jenny, pay attention.
Distracted by a squirrel. Anyways, so have you guys gotten value out of this?
Yes.
The ad copy formula: pain, agitate or educate, benefit or solution, and call to action.
And guys,
4 steps.
This is a formula. This is not something that's like, hey, this is set in stone. Okay, this is marketing. Things change. Okay, people tell things differently. Okay, this is just a structure for you to start to wrap your mind around a good way to start to write ad copy that works really well for us. But who's to say that what we do is going to work for you? I'm not going to say that it will completely.
Focus, Jenny.
But what we want you guys to do is to take this formula and apply it to you. How does this apply to you? And that's what me and Carrie got really good at with the training that we learned here in Elite Marketing Pro.
So glad, Mary.
Is what, you know, when we got a training, we said, okay, cool, how does that apply to us and how we are? And so sometimes we took pieces out or we did things differently.
Oh, so glad, Angeline.
Okay, so awesome.
So, you know, and it all starts with knowing your target market.
It will obviously better be you got
and knowing what your story is. What are your pains? What are the benefits you were looking for? You know, if you can get really clear on even just in knowing those things, telling the story becomes easy at that point, and using the formula.
And you just jumped yourself out of the 90% of people that really struggle with this at
Jim
first.
is in the house.
Jim
Showing up late to the party.
That's all right, Jim. dude, we need to connect here soon.
Yeah.
But anyways, dude, let's give a few shout outs real quick before we end this.
Yeah.
We've been on for a while.
Dr.
And
Jim, Sally,
and we got to get our Sunday school too.
Angeline, Mary, Jen, Petraline, Jenny. So good to
Sally
have you guys
was on,
Tim
Lisa,
was on,
Eric,
Ray, Michelle,
Felicia, freaking rocking it.
Yeah, Carlos,
Fran,
Curtis,
freaking
Alan.
Ray with that awesome comment. Love
you guys
the
are
engagement.
awesome. We really appreciate you guys being on here.
Yes.
You got
awesome,
value,
guys.
give us a hashtag value and daily
Better
dose
late
of
than
awesome.
never. You got it.
Yes,
okay?
Daily Dose of Awesome. This training will be live here in the community again on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. So everybody have a great weekend. Be safe. Love you guys, and we'll see y'all soon.
See ya.
See ya.